Energy. Yeah. Energy.
Your muscles look big.
Energy. Oh,
Yeah, they do. Oh my gosh, I love.
Okay.
Hey. Welcome to the Practically Imperfect podcast. I'm Lindsay.
What up? And I'm Orson.
I hated that.
It's been a minute and I want to do something different. I was
Orson.
trying to be cool.
Orson, how was your vacation?
I thought you were going to say, how was your last 2 weeks? Because we haven't filmed one in the last 2 weeks.
I think it's been 3 weeks.
Was it really?
Because we missed 2 Fridays because we were on vacation the past 2 Fridays. And then the Friday before, we didn't. Oh my gosh.
Oh my.
We didn't record because we were like busy.
Well, we didn't record the week before we left.
Yeah, so it's been like 3 weeks.
we should put that as a reel, just your face like, ugh.
Sorry, I needed water.
That was a funny face you made.
Okay.
Okay, what if I need water? You're going to hog it for yourself?
No, just make the water sign like I did.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyways, you're asking
Back to business.
You're asking about how my vacation was. Let's.
Oh my goodness.
We last time we recorded. It hadn't been Halloween. It wasn't Halloween yet.
Mm-mm.
So we recorded the week before Halloween, right?
Yeah.
Yes, and
So it's been 3 weeks.
It's been 2.
3.
Last week was the cruise.
Yeah.
The week before that was
also
Halloween.
No, babe. Oh wait, maybe you're right.
Yes, I am right.
Wait, I think you're right actually.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been 3 weeks.
It's been 2 since we've actually recorded something.
There's no way it's been 2. No, it's been 3.
Why are we arguing about this? It's been 2.
Doesn't even matter. It's been a long time, but it's been
it really
3
does
weeks.
not matter at all.
3 weeks, okay? So how was your vacation? No, I'm not even going to bring it to you because you keep talking about something else that's not the vacation. You're not even answering my question.
I wanted to kind of take him back to where we left off.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't even mention anything about Halloween.
Okay, let's talk about Halloween. I guess.
Really wasn't.
Okay, actually, no, I don't want to talk about Halloween. I just want to get into what we're talking about because it's going to be a long episode, I fear.
Okay, fine. Well, my vacation was interesting. It was amazing. It was tiring. It was fun. It was
Hard.
what hard in what way?
Traveling with the baby.
That's what I mean by exhausting.
Hard.
I feel like you're already getting you're already getting worked up about it.
I'm already stressed.
And it's a situation that already happened.
I know.
Can I have the water, please?
Mm-hmm. So, okay. So we've been back from our 2-week vacation. It wasn't actually 2 weeks. So the cruise was an 8-day cruise. So we were on the boat on the boat for 8 days. And then 2 travel days. Kind of 3 travel days it felt like, but
it was
so
really
it was it was
like
over. It was like 10 or 11 days. So it was like 1 and a little bit of weeks.
Yes.
So it was long. I also don't recommend doing that with a baby.
You are like so negative Nancy over there.
Hey, we need to be real. You want to know why?
You will be real and I will be real.
Know why? Okay, you be real.
Don't make me snap my fingers in the Z formation. This podcast is bringing me to my real self.
Okay, great.
I'm going to be real.
Be real.
Why are you like red? You're embarrassed of me?
Am I? I don't know, maybe. So what I mean is we need to be real on how things actually went because I am sick of seeing these influencers travel with their babies and their kids and it's la-di-da-di-da when it actually isn't and it's actually really hard. And I feel like I need to talk about how it really went. Like, we need to be honest.
This was our first time.
Yes.
Our first baby. Mm-hmm. So take that into consideration too, because there's like the first time you do anything is hard and you're most likely going to be terrible at it.
Right. Would you ever do it again?
Yeah. I'm not going to let one experience make me scared about traveling with my kids.
Not scared. It's just like, let's leave them at home. Like, that's what I mean.
Like, if that's an option, then yeah, sure, we'll leave them at home. But like, I want to travel with my kids. I want to have those experiences. I want to travel with my kids. I hate the expression, oh, it's not a vacation when you bring your kids. Like, yep. I don't like that. I want it to feel like a vacation is just change the meaning of a vacation. Like, you can still, it's just still a choice. You can either choose to have fun or you can choose to be like, meh, this was not very relaxed. It's not what I wanted or anything. You can still, you still choose the way that you react to the situation at hand.
I know, but you need to be real with your feelings.
How am I not being real? I will be real.
Okay, great. Let's get into it.
I'm just saying, you asked me.
Yes. Would
I do it again? And the answer is 1,000% yes, because I think it's fun and there's cool experiences. When I said the word fun, there was a little bell that went off in my head.
A bell?
Like a little bit. Hey, woohoo, woohoo.
What?
A little cuckoo bird. Like when I said fun, it was like a little warning. Like, hey,
it wasn't fun.
Don't just say it was fun, because there's definitely more that happened. Why I keep doing this?
I don't know.
There's more that happened.
Yes. Well, let's get into it. So should we go chronologically, or should we just talk about like traveling to get there and to come home, like the plane, and then go into the cruise, or what do you think?
I say chronologically. Oh.
No, it's chronologically.
Chronologically.
Yes, good job. Good job. Okay,
Your face was really... I've never seen you make that face.
What face?
That disgusted face?
I look disgusted? I'm sorry.
Yes, you were looking at me and you looked disgusted.
I'm sorry. I wasn't disgusted.
It's because I said the word wrong.
It was more confusing. Okay. So, we... There's just so much to say. So we leave for our vacation on November 1st, the day after Halloween. So Halloween was honestly like just really quick, really stressful. We were up till super late just trying to get last minute things packed up, because also what's hard about traveling with, and again, we only have one baby. I can't imagine doing like 2 or 3. So we just had to like pack a bunch of stuff. We had to pack so many cans of formula, all of her diapers, because also we're on a boat. So we like have to pack everything, because at least our boat, they don't just have a convenience store with like wipes or diapers. So we had to bring everything. So that just made our bags weigh so much. I've never had a problem with like keeping my bag for just myself under 50 pounds, but it was, we were about to leave, and then for some reason we weighed our suitcases. We weighed our suitcases the morning of, because we had like our bathroom stuff that we needed for like that morning, and I think our bags were over 50 pounds and we had to like take stuff out. But anyway, so that was just Halloween night. It was just really stressful, and we went to bed so late. And so our flight was, I believe, 9:30 in the morning, Vegas time, because that's our closest major airport. So we had to leave our house, and Vegas is an hour and a half away, and Vegas is also an hour earlier.
At the time it was.
It still is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Only Arizona is the one that doesn't change daylight savings.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to leave our house at 6 in the morning, which normally Scarlett wakes up at 7. So I already knew that it was going to be a little bit tough because we had to wake her up from her slumber in the morning.
You told me to tell you if your hair is being weird. It's being weird.
I'm trying to fix it. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, do you have anything you want to add for the morning of leaving? Our bags didn't fit in our car. You should talk about that because that was your job.
Okay. Don't touch it.
Okay.
The bags fitting in the car. So we had the 2 large suitcases that we're going to check. And it had, you already talked about what was in it and the weight stuff. And we drive a Kia Soul.
Yes, I love our Kia Soul.
It's been a trusty car for us. I'm over it, but it's been trusting and it's reliable. And I am very, very grateful for that car. And it's our only car. Mm-hmm. Anyways, that's beside the point. So I was putting the suitcases in there and I put the first large one in the quote unquote trunk. I mean, it's not
There's
really
no trunk.
It's not really a trunk. Anyways, put it in there and I'm like, oh, this by itself barely fits.
And we were already running late too.
We still had to fit the car seat. So like there wasn't really any room in the back seat, which would normally be what you do, right? Oh, you don't have room in the trunk, just put it in the back seat. Mm-hmm. Well, because we have a kid, there's a car seat and you sit in the back seat, and the front seat is really the only open seat to put any luggage or travel item. Mm-hmm. So I put the other suitcase in the front seat and I just had to like keep pushing it back so I could like see out the mirror. I was like, we're leaning over and I was like, oh, is there anyone behind us? Can I switch lanes? And anyways, especially like trying to follow your dad, he can be crazy sometimes. So there were certain times where he would get off and exit real quick all of a sudden. And I'd be like, oh, shoot, I need to get over. And so I had to like, push the suitcase back so I could look at the mirror to make sure nobody was behind me and I could switch anyways. So that was the situation with the luggage. It was just a tight squeeze. And we were supposed to drive with your sister and her husband. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it ended up being a blessing. I mean, they were a little bit behind us, and because we were supposed to drive with them, we're thinking, okay, we'll put all of our luggage in there, but it barely fit in our car. Their luggage barely fit in their car.
Yeah.
So
we had to take 3 cars to the airport. So here's who came. So it was me, Orson, and our baby Scarlett. It was my sister and her husband. So that was one car, is me, Orson, Scarlett. My sister and her husband took another car. And then my mom, my dad, and my 2 other sisters in the 3rd car. So yeah, there was a lot of us. But what I didn't realize is how hard it is. Maybe it's also because we have crappy suitcases, but just carrying around everything around the airport was so sucky. So we had 2 very large suitcases. Orson had to carry the car seat in a bag because that had to be checked. We had Scarlett in a little stroller. We had a backpack for me, a backpack for Orson, and a backpack for Scarlett. So that's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So basically,
So that was 6 things that we just needed to carry.
So like, picture this: I have the car seat on my backpack, a backpack. And
our fanny packs.
So I had So we both had a fanny pack. I had the car seat on my back, a backpack on my front, on my chest. Had 1 suitcase behind me pulling it, 1 big suitcase next to me pushing it. Lindsay was pushing the stroller with a backpack on her back and a backpack on her front.
Yeah.
And pushing Scarlett.
We looked crazy.
It probably was like...
and that's just so hard. And again, it's maybe because we also had crappy suitcases. Especially on the way back, one of my wheels broke and the zipper, like the front zipper, also broke. So it was just like flapping around.
Yeah, I need some new luggage.
It was so hard to get around.
What I picture is in Home Alone when their family's like running through the airport and they have all the luggage and stuff like that's the image that I have in my mind of
I feel like ours was worse.
Us going through the airport. We weren't like running or rushing, but
No.
it was just a lot for sure.
Yeah, so just that in and of itself just gets me like overstimulated because
So-
we had so many things to keep track of.
So you're like, at the beginning, you were like, I hate seeing these influencers and stuff like travel with. I feel like a big difference would be they would probably have luggage that's a little bit more travel friendly, for one.
Maybe.
They would probably, they'd probably be on like Delta or more or more expensive airlines where it's more convenient to, like, you can, like, there's a thing where you can have somebody meet you at the airport and they haul your luggage for you, or maybe they get,
What?
yeah, there's like
That's a thing?
there's services like that. I mean, they cost more.
Well, yeah,
It's like
I didn't even know that was a thing. That would be nice.
Your hair's coming down again.
What do I do? Should I just like go to the other side?
Oh, just embrace it. Just embrace it. Own it.
I can't do it.
Own it. Okay. Oh, now you popped out one other. Okay.
Oh my gosh, guys, my hair is so bad postpartum. Okay.
Okay. Just embrace it.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. That's as good as it's gonna get.
So it's just, what was I saying?
Just the luggage in general, and influencers do probably they
Yeah.
definitely. I'm sure they do stuff to make it more convenient, but still, you're traveling with a baby is still. Again, me and Orson, we have an angel baby too, and it was still really hard. So I can't imagine if you have a nightmare child traveling.
I think a big part of it too is your ability to handle stress has to play a major factor in it.
Yeah.
If you don't handle stress very well, then it's going to feel more chaotic and more stressful because obviously you're more prone to feeling those emotions.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're seasoned at just handling your stress and you're good at those types of situations and calming yourself, it's going to feel more normal and less of a chaotic time.
Yeah.
And I would say a big difference from a lot of those people is they're probably just better at handling their stressful situations.
I don't even know. I don't even know.
Like, imagine if you were just as calm as I was in every situation with it.
Babe, you were calm and I wasn't as calm. I was still fine.
You were
I was
fine.
proud of myself for how I handled things, but
You should be, yeah.
but I'm sure you still were like, this sucks. This is so annoying.
It was more so that only comes from you caring about what other people think around you.
That's not true.
Like we're like on the plane, for example, we're only like, does it, like, if she cries, we're only like heightened because there's a lot of people around us and we don't want anyone else to get annoyed.
Well, that's different. That's on the plane. I'm talking about like just lugging everything around.
I didn't think that was that big of a deal.
All right. Cool. I did. So we also were flying Spirit Airlines. So that's also one thing that I was really nervous about. I've never flown
That's
Spirit.
great.
Yeah, I've never flown Spirit before because of everything that I've like heard. It is the cheapest airline, I believe, like major airline. It's the cheapest. And honestly, not bad at all.
It's definitely like not very clean.
You think?
Yeah,
Clean?
just like the little fold down tables in the back seat just had grime and dirt and the
Oh, they
little
did?
cracks, and there was
Maybe I
just
don't
like
care.
there was just like some weird stuff in the seat in front of me. It was just like
Like, what do you mean weird stuff?
like on the way home there was like some like candy or something that was stuck. There's like this metal bar that shapes the seat in front of me or in front of you.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of like the seat of the frame of the seat is like this metal bar, right? And in that metal bar or behind that metal bar is like the leather of the cushion.
Mm-hmm.
And between that the leather of the cushion and that metal bar, there's like this, it like meets, and like in that meeting point is with some just like melted candy or some gum or something that was
What?
just...
I did not notice that at all.
Yeah, it was definitely dirtier for sure.
Oh. And it was louder, that's for sure. Like landing was so shaky. Maybe I just don't remember how landing is because we don't fly often, like at all. But the last plane we flew was very nice. It was Delta. I remember being an amazing, luxurious experience, I felt like.
That was your first experience on Delta. That
Yeah,
is true.
it was nice. So when landing too, I just remember it being so loud and so shaky, and I was like, is that normal? Is that just Spirit?
Honestly, I don't remember.
Yeah. Well, anyway, honestly, I would give the whole Spirit Airlines like 7.5 out of 10. I would fly them again if you're really like balling on a budget and you're like, oh, I have to fly a really nice airline to like keep me safe. No, just fly Spirit. It won't be as luxurious, but it'll get you there. It definitely will.
My thing is, my only thing is it's just kind of grimy. Just kind of dirty. That was just like my only thing.
I did
I'm
not
just
notice
like,
it being dirty at all. So maybe Orson's just a little germaphobe.
I'm not a germaphobe. I was just like paying attention to things. You don't really pay attention.
That's true. I don't. But yeah, I would definitely fly Spirit again. So
like when Scarlett would pull down the little tray in front of you, and like I just like pay attention to what she's touching, and I'm just like, that's kind of gross. And like the those papers that they have
the safety instructions.
Yeah, there was like one of them that looked like it had like a booger on it or something.
No,
I mean, it probably wasn't like a booger, but it was like this little brand. Like it was.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Okay, maybe
How'd you not
don't
notice that?
fly Spirit.
She was like playing with that
I
pamphlet
just
too.
didn't notice. I was too like.
Exactly.
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 Okay, so we get on the plane, and thankfully our first flight there was just a direct flight from Vegas to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and it was a 4-hour plane ride, which was long. It was long, especially because Scarlett, she doesn't like to sleep in our arms at all. She is very independent. She likes to be... like if we're trying to rock her in our arms, she just like wants to move around. She likes to sleep on her stomach. So yeah, having her in our arms like at all, she just wants to crawl around because she's crawling everywhere. And so it was definitely a little bit hard to like contain her and to keep her entertained, but she really liked playing with the tray table and the safety instructions. That kept her going for honestly a good amount of time. I'm trying to think what else we did with her. I think that was it. We just kind of passed her around from my family members. And I remember her being really good on the way there.
Yeah, she didn't really sleep though. I think you already said that.
She did not sleep. So yeah, I guess she was a little bit tired and cranky just because she wouldn't sleep. She slept for 30 minutes.
There's a lot of other babies on that flight too.
That's true.
Like when you see other babies on the flight, as somebody that has a baby, I feel like that kind of is like, okay, we're not the only... If she starts crying...
We can blame it on the other baby.
Not that, but it's just more so, okay, we're not alone.
Yes. But it was really hard changing her diaper on the airplane. Why does no one talk about that?
You didn't... Did you do it?
No.
Exactly. So why you say it was really hard to change her diaper? You didn't even do it.
Well... it was hard just changing her diaper at all. I've never changed her on a changing pad before, which is kind of weird. She's already 10 months old, and that's like never happened before. We've taken her out in public. I guess we've just like changed her in the trunk of our car or something, but I've never had to use like a public changing pad. She freaking hated it, and it was stressful. I hated that.
How often did you use that when she...
Changing pad?
When you...
Changing table? Yes. Probably twice.
Did she ever scream with you?
Yes.
She did?
Yes.
Okay.
And then the other times I made someone come with me to like distract her while I was changing her diaper.
I feel like
but when I went into the bathroom,
pads.
On the first flight when I went into the bathroom, I checked out the changing table and I was like, how the heck are we going to change her diaper on this? No one says that. It was like tiny. So I made you change her diaper on the plane. How did that go?
Oh. I felt so bad for her. Like it was it was the saddest thing.
Really?
It was so sad. Like you could clearly tell. Like she was like looking at me like, like you could tell she was scared.
Yeah, because it's a tiny, scary situation.
Like she knew something was wrong.
Nothing was wrong though.
But like something was not normal.
Something was
definitely
different.
not normal, and it was just like.
And wasn't it a poopy diaper? That's why you had to change it.
It wasn't like it was one of the sad poopy diapers.
Okay.
It was just like, just felt so bad for her because like laying her down, she was looking up, and I was trying to be like, it's okay, like act happy and smile at her, but it was just the scared look, and then slowly
I know, it's so sad.
Turned into a scream.
Yeah, don't recommend changing your baby's diaper on an airplane. 0 out of 10.
On a Spirit flight, at least.
I'm sure they're all that same size, unless you're like in a suite or something.
I suppose that's true.
So that sucked. And we also, like, during that flight, because she like ate a lot on the plane just because it like gave her comfort. So a lot of the bottles were dirty, so we had to like go into the bathroom and like wash out her bottles. It was just a lot of work. Okay, like I said, even though she is a angel baby, like she's still a baby. She still needs to be changed. She still needs to be fed, which is an inconvenience. It just is. Like, we didn't put in our headphones once. I could not watch a movie. We could not listen to music. We were just like on high alert the whole 4 hours. I was just like, dang, I really took advantage of just sitting in a seat on a plane watching a movie. Like, it was just, I missed it. I missed that. So that was on the way there. Do you have anything? Oh, I need to share my story on the plane.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, so embarrassing. So I had a really embarrassing moment on our flight there. So I don't like getting up at all during a plane ride just because I'm like kind of scared and I just like to stay in my seat. But I had to pee really bad. And it was like the first 30 minutes into the flight. So I was like, all right, I can't sit here for 4 hours. So I go up. And I didn't realize, because I just saw other people getting up to go to the bathroom. So I didn't realize that the seatbelt sign was still on, just because I was just like, oh, other people are going to the bathroom. It must be safe. So I just went up, and the flight attendant was like, oh, the seatbelt sign is still on. And I was like, oh, do I need to go like back to my seat? And she's like, just be careful, is all she said. And I was like, oh, okay. So that already just made me like nervous. So I was like, okay, I just need to get in and out. So I get into the bathroom. I'm sitting there and nothing is coming out just because I'm like nervous. And then a guy opens the door. I forget to lock the door, you guys. So he opens it and then he shuts it like so fast, like immediately. Thank goodness, because I died inside. And then that just made my nervousness just heightened. So I never even ended up going pee. And I just pretended to flush. There was nothing to flush. And I just left. And I was like, I still have to pee. And someone just saw my vagine probably. So yeah, it was super embarrassing. And when I sat back down, I was like, I never even peed. This happened. So I had to end up going back up in like an hour or something to like actually pee. And I remembered to lock the door that time. So that was good. But
what was the bright side you told me about him opening the door on you?
The bright side was I had just gotten waxed, a Brazilian. And so I was like, well, I'm confident. At least if you saw anything, it was like cute. So that was that. And I can't really add anything else about the first like airport experience. If you're traveling with formula, I thought it would be like a bigger deal. It wasn't at all. It was maybe an extra 2 minutes of them checking the formula. And I don't know how this isn't like dangerous, but I didn't have to go through like the big like circle security thing where it pretty much like, I don't know, electronically, like, doesn't it like electronically like make you naked or something? I don't even know. Does it not?
I mean, I guess
I think it does. So yeah, I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to get patted. I was like, are you not going to check me for drugs? Or I'm sure maybe I went through something, but it wasn't the intense one.
They don't see you naked. It's just like,
I thought they did.
no.
Oh.
Those people are pervs if that's the
Well, I
case.
don't know.
Anyways.
Anything else you'd like to add on getting there?
I don't think so.
So let's see. So like I said, we flew. It was maybe more like 9:45. So it was maybe more closer to 10. So we land in Fort Lauderdale, Florida time. It was like 6 p.m. because they're like 2 hours ahead or 3 hours ahead, I guess, of Vegas time. And so we get there and we go to our hotel because we go on the boat the next morning. And Scarlett had to like be in the bed with us that night. That was also really hard because she hasn't done that in months, and she rolls around, she crawls around. So I was just paranoid the whole time that she was just gonna crawl off the bed while we weren't noticing.
Getting all the clothes and stuff out, we found that her soap bottle leaked everywhere on the clothes.
It did.
So we had
a bunch of suitcase.
Yeah, had a bunch of soapy clothes.
Yep, soapy clothes in the suitcase, but there was nothing really we could do about it. Orson went to the the laundry room in the little janky hotel.
Yeah, I mean during our time there, I spent a lot of time working.
True.
Trying to get stuff done before I was MIA for a week.
I was so tired, you guys, and of course we got no sleep because Scarlett was in between us on a queen bed, not even a king bed. So that sucked. So the next day was when we actually get onto the boat. We rode, I don't know if that's the right term. We embarked. That's it. We embarked the Carnival Magic. Yep.
It made it sound like it's such a big deal.
No, it's not. It's an old boat, but it was a cute boat.
It looked like it had a bunch of boobs everywhere. With the lights.
Oh, boob lights.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you talking about? I'm trying to think. So, I don't even know how to, like, say this, you guys. Like, just the whole time, I just would not recommend a cruise with a less than a year-old baby. It's just... We also forgot her like headphones. It's just so loud. Carnival is like the party boat, so it was so loud. I was just on edge the whole time. Not the whole time because I had my family there to help and she was having fun sometimes, but there was just many a times where it was just super loud and she just wanted to take a nap in her room and we just kind of missed out. So
she was definitely much happier in our room.
Right. Like anytime like outside of the boat. Well, that's not true. She went like when she was eating like breakfast, she was happy. When she was outside, she was happy.
Yeah, but like during the day when we would either be doing something or attending a show or we would go leave that and go back to the room and she was always happy and crawling around and laughing.
That's true because she couldn't really crawl around at all on the actual boat, so she only had that opportunity in our room, which the rooms are super tiny on boats, but we were so lucky, you guys. I could not have survived this cruise if we didn't have a balcony, to be totally honest. Like, if you want to go on a cruise with your baby who still takes 2 naps a day like ours, if you can, I really, really, really would recommend a balcony room. And the only reason why we even had that is because something was wrong with our room and they upgraded us for free. So I'm not even saying like we're so bougie, we need to have a balcony room. Like, no, it just happened that way. And it just made me realize if I didn't have this, like this would have been so much harder, like so much harder. So anytime that Scarlett would need to nap, which I said was like 2 times a day, so every 3 hours she would need to take a nap, we would be outside on the balcony watching the ocean and the sun, and it would still make us feel like we had a break, we were on vacation, and obviously someone had to be in the room with her So we were just outside on the balcony, and literally, you guys, every 5 minutes, we would check on her. Like, I want to make it known that we were still in the room with her, and we weren't abandoning her. It was just outside. And if we were in a normal, like, inside room, we would have just had to sit there in the dark, the pitch black dark, because there's no windows usually. Yeah. Can you imagine if we didn't have that? It would have been awful.
We would have kept watching the movies over and over again that you downloaded.
I only downloaded 3 movies, and they were Aquamarine, You Again, and Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen.
Yeah, that's what we would have had to watch that over and over. And I would have been dying. I would have been like, "You stay here. I gotta go do something."
Rude. It would have left me alone in the room. But no, so having a balcony really changed the game. That honestly probably made our vacation enjoyable. If we didn't, I don't think I would have enjoyed it.
I would have enjoyed it anyways. Still.
No. More than if half of our day, let's see.
I'm grateful that we had the
if like 6 hours of our day, 5 to 6 hours of our day was just in a black dark room, I wouldn't have enjoyed myself.
We probably would have turned on the TV and like
no. That would have sucked.
So anyway,
I'm super grateful. Thank you.
I'm not saying it wouldn't have sucked. Yes, I'm grateful for the balcony. I'm grateful for how it turned out. But I'm just saying, like, we still would have. It would have been a different experience, but we wouldn't have known what we were missing. So we would have still said, we would have found other ways to have it be enjoyable.
Where's the water? No, I get what you're saying, but I'm trying to tell others, if you want to go on a cruise with your baby, do not get an indoor cabin or else you will not enjoy yourself. That's what I'm saying.
But I'm not saying, I don't think that's the case, because I still think that's still a choice. They can still choose to have fun with or without a balcony. You don't need a balcony to have fun on a cruise with your baby.
It made it enjoyable, babe.
It made it more enjoyable. Mm-hmm. Made it more enjoyable. It was already enjoyable. That made it better.
Okay.
Hey, I'm just being real. That's what you asked me to do.
I'm being real too, and that's my opinion. So also, so this is I'm kind of just gonna jump back and forth because honestly, the cruise was kind of like not uneventful. There was a couple things that I'll like mention, but the things that we did that were super fun. So we got off the boat 4 different times in the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, St. Martin, and St. Thomas. Don't know where those places are, but island vibes. Okay. And so 2 of the excursions, we didn't have Scarlett. My parents took her because my parents pretty much only just want to go to the beach. So they always took her. So that was super nice that there were 2 days that we just didn't have her. Why are you laughing at me?
Not laughing at you. I'm thinking of what I'm going to say.
Okay. You're laughing at yourself.
I was laughing at, like, do I even want to share that when Lindsay want me to?
Sure.
Or not?
What is it?
Like, it was the horse part of it.
Okay, we'll get there.
Yeah, I know.
So the excursions that we did where we didn't have the baby is in the Dominican Republic. We did zip lining and horseback riding, which was so fun. That was 10 out of 10 would recommend. What? Okay, say what you're going to say.
Well, just the horseback ride. So there's a few times where our guide, there was a lot of guides. It was fun. It was a cool little horseback ride. But there was a lot of times, specifically with Lindsay, where the guide would come up and like tell the horse to like, hey, or whatever.
Vamos, viejo, which means hurry, old man, hurry, old man.
Yeah. So he kept saying that to Lindsay's horse, which would make it trot a little bit.
Yes.
And like Lindsay would be like bumping up and down as this horse trotted along.
Yeah.
And it was just like you had the biggest like smile on your face. You're like, woo, I can't, like, this is so fun. It was funny to look back and watch you. But the thing that I was thinking, like, oh, I don't know, like, should I had this thought.
Because Orson was in front of me the whole time, thank goodness. So I was a little bit nervous about getting on horses because you just never know. But mine was named Old Man. So that means he's an old man, so he's like a good horse.
So this might just because like maybe just because you're my wife and I think about these things, or I'm like I'm aware of like, oh, is that guy being a pedo or something or something
Someone's
like
being.
this.
You think he was being a pedo?
Maybe, but that
Well,
cross
pedo is he's not a pedo because that's children. A perv.
a perv, yeah. That crossed my mind because as you were galloping, your boobs were like boom, 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 and I was like, whoa, her boobs are really going up and down a lot. And I was like, I wonder if he keeps doing it to Lindsay just so he can see that as she goes.
I really doubt that, babe. Because he was telling
But
other horses.
He did it more to yours.
He did, but that's because mine was going really slow, and he knew that I was really nervous. There's no way, babe. Don't make me rethink this situation of he was just being gross.
No,
Do you think he was being gross and just wanted to see my boobs?
No.
I didn't even think of that.
That crossed my mind like briefly, and then it went away, and the majority of the time I was like, okay, he knows Lindsay's nervous. Like you could tell that you were a little bit high strung during it.
I was, and my horse was going slow.
It was. I just I just had that thought, and I think it's just because I'm a husband and
you're just protecting me.
Look out and stuff like, and that's what I was just laughing at.
Well, I hope that's not the case.
I don't think it was.
Okay, that's good, I guess. But if it was, ew.
I mean, it's funny.
I guess. So anyway, so that was one excursion we did without Scarlett. Another one was we went like scuba diving. How would you even, not scuba diving.
Helmet diving.
Helmet diving?
It's not diving. It's just a helmet walk underneath the surface of the ocean.
Yeah, so we went to the ocean and we had these helmets on so we could breathe, and we got to like see some sea urchins and hold these like weird things that live in the ocean. I don't even know. But that was super fun. And then we went to the beach. And then with Scarlett, we went to the beach 2 different times, I believe, right? No, we went to the beach one time with Scarlett. And then the second time, we did like another zip line while my mom watched her. And then we went to a beach where there was airplanes flying in. So like here, so the beach and the planes, like while the plane was landing, it went right over our heads, it felt like, on the beach, which was fun and cool to see, but it was also like stressful because Scarlett, it was so loud and Scarlett did not like it. She didn't cry or anything, but you can clearly see that she just didn't like the loud noises. So we had to like leave that situation. See, like that's just another like inconvenient thing that you just have to do when you have a baby on vacation.
Yeah, but I get it.
Yeah.
I'm stopping myself. I'm always putting the positive spin on it.
Well, I mean, of course, if you're going on vacation with your kids, you know that things are going to be inconvenient. So it's not crazy to say that.
Yeah, but I'm stopping myself from saying is just like how, yes, it would still be inconvenient, but just because it's inconvenient doesn't mean you still can't choose to have a good time. And have fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Make memes.
Yeah.
Memories.
Yeah. So there is a couple of things that I did want to bring up that were a little bit different while we were on our cruise, that because I've been on lots of cruises, and there was one situation that was sad, but it was also cool to see, which sounds like bad of me to say, but sorry. So while you're in your cabin is what they call your rooms. Usually when the cruise director goes on the intercom, he'll just like say what's going on the boat or whatever. It's in the speakers in the hallway, so it's not directly in your cabin. Mm-hmm. When it's directly in your cabin, you know that like low-key something's wrong, because they need to make sure everybody knows, even everybody's alerted, even if you're like sleeping. So the not even the cruise director, the captain gets on the intercom in all the cabins, and we were in our room because I don't know if Scarlett had just woken up, but whatever, we were just in our room. And I immediately was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Because that's not normal. He goes, hi, this is the captain. And by this point, we were already on our way back to the port of Miami. So our vacation was pretty much over. He was saying how we are going to stop at a nearby island, which was Grand Turk. We're going to make an emergency stop there because there's a passenger who needs immediate medical care. And we need to stop at Grand Turk so that passenger can get off of the boat immediately and get the medical care they need, which is just super alarming and really scary. Like, I wonder what it was. I wonder what passenger. I don't know. I know it was a girl because when they were later explaining that she ended up being okay, that she was fine. But since we had a balcony, how they got to the island is they kind of stopped in the middle of the ocean and they took one of the lifeboats down, which you never really see the lifeboats like in action in the ocean and how they would look and work to make sure that do they even work, or are they just for show? But no, they worked. And I saw it and it was cool. I saw it coming back on the boat and it going back up, which was super cool. It was cool to see, but also like kind of sad. But that passenger ended up being okay. Whatever happened, they got their medical care and they were just going to life flight back to Miami. Quite an expensive emergency, but oh well.
Apparently there was a lot of things that happened on that cruise.
Yeah, do you want to say? There was
apparently someone passed away.
Someone passed away on our cruise, yeah.
I think they're just old. Mm-hmm. Just had a heart attack or something like that. I don't know.
No, they didn't have a heart. I think they were just old. Yeah, they just died.
Oh man. Anyway, so that happened, and then someone our balcony doors, there's a warning that says keep doors shut because the rooms are air conditioned and it can be dangerous because of the high winds outside when the boat's moving. And I guess someone got their arm slammed into that door.
And that door is thick.
Yeah, it's a big door. For sure, because it's got to be. It's got to be protective of the outside elements. So someone got their their doors or their arms slammed in that door, and then something else happened with that lady, and maybe that's what it was. I don't know.
Yeah, so I heard 3 different things: the slam arm door, the lifeboat. And then I guess someone just died on the boat, which is so sad. But old people be cruising all the time. There was this girl this lady next to my mom who had an oxygen tank. And it's just kind of what are you doing on a cruise in the middle of the ocean where there's no immediate medical care?
They can have their fun still.
They can have their fun, but I would just go to that island and stay there. To be in the ocean for we had 2 days in a row at sea where there's no medical care. I'm sure they have a nurse or something on the boat, but I just wouldn't recommend doing that. But that's just me. Another thing that I do want to bring up that happened during our cruise, which again, also wouldn't recommend going on a cruise during an election.
Oh.
I'm sorry, but I have to bring it up. It was something that happened, and it's something that I kind of want to talk about just for a little bit, just because Orson doesn't really, he just doesn't really have much opinions. So you can just chime in where you would like. So the election happened, I believe it was November 5th, which was Tuesday. And thank goodness our TV in the room had CBS News, so I was able to find out who won, which was Donald Trump. But it was the next day that I wanted to see what everybody was saying, how everybody was reacting to social media. So I had to pay $12 for my data so I could have service, so I could see what was going on in the world. And that's why I wouldn't recommend, just because I didn't like being in the dark and not knowing what everyone was saying and what was actually happening other than CBS News, So I had turned on the TV in the early in the night. Donald Trump was up by just a little bit. Oh, and by the way, I voted for Donald Trump. So that's who I would have liked to see win. So anyway, he was up pretty much the whole time, but that happened last election as well and ended up not going his way. So I was never like, okay, he's got this in the bag. So I didn't find out until the next morning at like 6 a.m. where it said President-elect Donald Trump. And I was like, no way. I was shocked. Not only was I shocked that he won all 7 swing states, which just does not happen. And he also won the popular vote, which is very rare for a Republican candidate. It was just very shocking on how everything kind of played out. And I also just kind of wanted to say that just because everybody, not everybody, but the people who are, I feel like, online and on social media are very sad, upset, scared, and I just wanted to, I don't even know what to say, and are really upset at Trump voters like myself, especially being a woman and a woman of color. I don't even like calling myself that. It just feels weird for me to say woman of color, because it's like labeling myself, that it's just like it shouldn't matter, like a woman of color. It should just not even matter what I am, but that's just how they like to categorize us, I guess, because it said like Latino voters, Latino women voters who voted for Trump, and I guess I'm in that category of Latino women. Okay. I think people are upset with women who voted for Trump because of reproductive rights. And I just kind of wanted to briefly say my opinion there. So, do you know what I mean when I say reproductive rights?
Explain it for those that don't understand.
I'm asking you. You can say you don't understand and I can explain it to you.
Okay, then explain it.
You don't understand.
You just want me to say I don't understand?
Yeah, because it's okay. So,
then why are you making fun of me for it?
I'm not. I'm just making sure. So, a couple years ago, Roe v. Wade, which is abortion rights, got
reproductive rights?
Yes,
that's what you're talking about?
Women's reproductive rights.
And the right to choose on that whole topic?
Pro-choice abortion. That's what.
Oh, okay,
that's
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So, people are just upset with women in particular who voted for Donald Trump because of abortion rights, reproductive rights, and I just have to say, I do not mind at all for it to not be all across the board. Abortion is legal up to any point in time all across the United States, especially because this country is so freaking big. That's also something that just always is, like, I'm just reminded of it every election time, because everyone all over has so many different opinions and views on the world. It's because they live in completely different bubbles and areas. But anyway, so we live in Utah. So Utah's abortion law is you can have an abortion up to 18 weeks, which I think is great. It's totally fine. But there are other states like Idaho and Alabama where it's like illegal. You cannot get one. So I'm kind of having a little bit of a hard time with what I really, if it were Lindsay making the laws of abortion rights, I think I would make it all across the board. I don't think I would want a state for it to be like illegal, but I think I would make it legal up to like 10 weeks or something, so that the baby is small enough to where it's not that far along. But you would also know if you're pregnant. You would have a couple missed periods by that point in time. So yeah, people are upset about that. People are upset about literally so many things, especially by how much he won in a landslide. And I just think it's because people are, especially the working class the middle class is so tired of the economy in the last 4 years, how everything has jumped, has skyrocketed to literally something so horrible of people just struggling to make ends meet in so many places. And let's see. Sorry, you're going to have to cut a lot here because I just need to get my thoughts together and I don't want to sound dumb. The economy. And personally, I just think it's a little bit of a privilege, unfortunately, to vote for social issues like abortion rights, like stuff like that, where you're not really thinking of, okay, am I going to have to choose, like, if my check engine light comes on, am I going to have to choose between that and groceries? Like, that's just what's been happening lately. And unfortunately, under the Trump administration, that just wasn't going on as much for working class folks. So I think that's just what people voted on this time around. And I'm very sorry if you're sad about this election, but I'm sure you will be just fine. And we will all be just fine. Even if it went the other way, even if Kamala won, I would be just fine. I would live my life. I would hope for the best. I would hope that she would get the economy under control. Like, so I think that should just what everybody else should kind of reflect on, of you will be fine and hope for the best. That's what I have to say on that. Do you have anything to say?
Oh, man. This politics... oh my goodness. It just, like...
Orson hates.
It's not that I understand the importance of politics. And the importance of Democrat and Republican. Like, oh, actually, no. I don't understand the importance of Democrat. Like, who the freak cares? We're all people. We're all trying to just live our lives. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that's a huge issue. I think that's the bigger issue really at hand, is the fact that we divide this country into half and pin each other against one another. Why can't we just, like when people are saying, if you voted for this person, I hate you, you are literally so stupid. Like,
yeah.
That would go on both sides. If Trump didn't win, there'd be people saying, if you voted for Kamala, you were literally the scum of the earth and stuff like that.
I don't know about that.
There's extremists on both sides.
There is.
But there's
people who are like on The View and podcasts I listen to literally say that if you voted for Donald Trump, you were an uneducated person. You were stupid. And it's just like, do you really think that 74 million people who voted for him, all of them are misogynist, racist, uneducated people? No.
That kind of wording is just like sad to me. It's just like, you really feel that way about these people that are on this earth just the same as you, trying to make a living just the same as you, trying to fulfill whatever dreams they have just the same as you. Like, we're all human. We all poop and pee the same exact way. We all do it.
Yeah.
Like, we're all literally the same. And so it's just like, I mean, the same, and like, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But it's just like, if this country goes into ruin, I think that'll be the downfall. The beginning of it is because of the fact that we are separated in these two groups, and then these two groups just hate each other so much that it just gets worse and worse.
It just more bothers me that people on the other side aren't trying to see my point of view. There
are some that do.
Yes, there are some, but majority are not. And maybe it's because it's still very fresh.
But it's important to remember that the things that rise to the surface are the things that are more the negativity. That'll rise to the surface, and you'll see more of that. The positive side of it you won't see very often.
But I posted on my story the next day. I was like, I know people are upset and they don't understand why. If you want to understand why I, a woman who is Mexican and Puerto Rican, voted for Donald Trump, my DMs are open, and not one person DM'd me on the other side, and I lost like 10 followers.
Did you actually?
I actually did. So it's just, I don't know. It's just really hard. especially because I don't think that people should judge other people for how they vote. It is up to that certain individual
That's
on
what
what
makes
they.
this America great, is the fact that we have the right to vote.
I know.
We have
That's
the right to
awesome.
choose. We have the right to do so many amazing things that a lot of people in other parts of the world can only dream of.
Like, I'm not gonna judge a person who voted for Kamala um if they wanted abortion rights for all states up to any certain point. Like, why should I judge you if that's really what you want to vote for? But
That's great.
unfortunately, people aren't having abortions every single day, but people are wondering, how am I going to pay my groceries every single day? So I really think that just kind of took over this time around, and people just need to understand that and just say, hey, it's okay, and still be like cordial and friendly, because it also makes me so sad when politics divide family members. Like, it shouldn't be, unfortunately, it shouldn't be that deep, even though it is. But I just think that no one should judge other people for how or why they voted. And I don't think anybody should be calling people dumb, uneducated. How can you vote this way when you are this? Like, why are you telling me how I should vote just because I'm a woman and a woman of color? Like, should not make any difference.
Well, I want to be the devil's advocate to kind of what I'm saying a little bit. And as far as like people, or the majority of everyone being like, oh, the economy has been so bad. No, I'm not saying it hasn't. Like, it's that, like, we've felt it for sure.
Yeah.
But the problem that I see in all of that is we're voting for this person that we think is going to fix it.
We think.
But
Agreed.
The thing is, though, is it's up to us to fix our own situation. Like, no matter who's president, there's people still winning in the world. There's still people figuring it out.
Well, I'm talking about like gas prices, prices of homes, interest rates.
Despite all of that, there's still
grocery prices. Like, what do you mean?
Yes, despite all of that, though, there's still people winning. There's still people buying amazing cars, amazing houses. There's still people building businesses. There's still people coming and making a fortune in those. Some of the biggest businesses are built during the hardest times. And so there's people that are still, it doesn't matter who's president, they're still going to go at it as hard as they can. Yes, they might feel a little pinch here and there a little bit more because of the fact that the economy is a little bit more difficult to buy the normal things that you normally would. I'm not saying, like, we definitely felt it, but in my head, it's just like, it doesn't, in my head, honestly, I don't really care who's president. Mm-hmm. I mean, don't get me wrong. I will educate myself and I will vote.
Yeah, you always vote. Yeah, you're not just gonna not vote because you don't care.
I will do my part, and I will do my part as a citizen of this amazing country, and I will vote for what I feel like is best. But in the end of it, I can't control who wins. Mm-hmm. I guess I can do my part, but I can't control who wins. I can't control what they do with that power that they have once they get instated into the presidency. I can't control anything that happens after that. All I can control is... Sorry, my nose is a little bit runny. All I can control is how I react to my environment around me, whether that environment includes a bad economy or not. And it's just like, there's too many people blaming the economy for their bad situations. When I think, when you put blame on the economy for your bad situation, you're taking the power away from yourself and saying, it's not my fault. When it's just like, own like everything. I'm much more the person say everything's my fault, because that gives me the power to fix everything. If everything's my fault, then it's because of me, and I can fix my surroundings. Where if I put the blame on the president for making the economy bad, then I'm putting my power in changing my own life in someone else's hands. And that is the part that I think, with so many people voting for Trump, I feel like might have the mindset of, our lives will be a little bit better because he's going to make the economy better. And it's like, no, just take your own just take more responsibility for the life that you've been given and the choices that you've made that have gotten you to where you're at, and choose a different way of living to get you out of the situation that you may not be appreciative of. And I feel like no matter if it was Kamala or if it's Trump, I'm still going to do the same things every single day to get me where it is that I want to go. And it doesn't matter who's president.
I like that take. That's a good way of thinking about it.
And I think that, like,
even if we a little bit disagree, but
yeah, and that's, if you don't agree, that's fine. It's just like,
because obviously everyone wants, like, everyone would benefit from a better economy.
And that's great, and I agree.
And I'm not saying that just because Trump is president is gonna automatically change things. It could take half of his term. It could take 2 years, or it could get worse. We don't even know. We're just hoping for the best, and we are voting from the past. We're voting because literally everything went to shiz this last 4 years, and then Trump administration, everyone had a little bit more money in their pockets. That's literally what it comes down to, unfortunately. And money rules the earth, unfortunately, again. And I also don't appreciate. This is another thing that I was seeing where I'm just like, okay, this also really bugs me. So Whoopi Goldberg on The View, she was saying how, I get it, I'm a working woman too. If I had all the money in the world, I wouldn't be here, meaning The View. Kind of like, I understand, I'm a working class woman too, and I voted for Kamala when her weekly income is $70,000.
Her weekly?
Weekly.
Whoa.
Yes. So it also really upsets me when super rich people also like love her the most, Taylor Swift, but she's also a billionaire. I just feel like these people just in LA and just are very out of touch with the rest of the country.
Well, I think they're choosing to vote for Kamala not necessarily just for the economy reasons, but I feel like they stand more in alignment with some of her other topics that she talks about, and
because they
and that speaks to them more, not so much the economy side of it.
Yeah, whereas because they're a little bit out of touch, and they're voting for social issues that doesn't affect. It affects less than 1% of the country.
I mean, I wouldn't say they're I wouldn't go as far as saying they're out of touch.
Okay.
I mean, I would be a little bit more compassionate than that. But
they're trying to be like, what's your excuse? I'm also a working class woman. Like, excuse me, Whoopi, with all due respect, you make more in a week than the average American makes in a year. Mm-hmm. So that also I feel like is why people voted the way they did, because people like her and like these other famous rich billionaires are voting for social issues rather than what really matters in people's homes at the end of the day.
And maybe those richer people are looking from their perspective of like, if we vote on these social issues, this will really bring about longer lasting change with the country as a whole. Possibly. Whereas the majority of the citizens, like the working middle class, they're feeling the pinch right now.
Yeah.
And those other people, they don't feel the pinch. They don't really feel that, but they want a better country for the future. And so they might be coming. It's just a very
privileged way of thinking. They might be coming
from the point of view from that, whereas everyone else is like, I want this change right now.
Yeah.
And I would say that is a good lesson though, because like a lot of the middle class, we stay in the middle class because of the fact that we're not thinking long enough terms and big enough. And when we're only focused on fixing our right now, we can't do the work necessary to fix our future 10 years from now.
Well, also Donald Trump is wanting to really hone in on border patrol. That could very much change the country for the better.
Yeah, or worse. We don't know.
Worse.
Meaning
he's not gonna do what he says. Yeah,
no, very much. I know he could do what he says, but it could have a totally different impact that none of us even expected.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see.
That's just like that's just kind of what I'm trying to point out. It's just like Like we vote for like we're like the I feel like there's this mindset of we're voting for this president so they can change our lives.
And you don't like that.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Like, take responsibility for where you're at in your life and change something about it. Don't expect the president to do it.
Okay. All right. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I'd have to say. I also want to make a disclaimer. I would not call myself a Trumper, or like a cult following of Donald Trump. I don't think everything he does in the slightest is amazing. Like a lot of people are around me, especially living in Utah. It's just he was the Republican candidate. He said certain things that I was like, all right, I'll believe you. And so I voted for him.
It was like the lesser of two evils, I guess, from your point. Was that kind of
no, not necessarily. Because I don't think that Kamala was like evil, and I don't think Trump's was evil. So I wouldn't think it was the lesser of two evils. It was just kind of more like I just am excited for a new Republican candidate just because he's been in the Republican scene since I was 16. I'm just kind of wanting something also, different. But
like, what if the people like?
I think that's majority of the 74 million people that voted for him, though. Or I think I would bet to say like at least half of them are like, I don't really like him, but I need this economy to change.
Also, one thing that I was really noticing too, like, and I had this thought just based off of kind of what I've really been working on in my own life. And it's something I've talked about a lot, and it's the gap and the gain, right? Mm-hmm. And how you perceive the situation in front of you. And one thing that I was really noticing, like, I'm sure this would have been the same if Trump lost for that side of things. But the people that I saw that were saying, or that you showed me that were talking about how, this sucks that Kamala didn't win, this or that, and it's just very somber and crying about and like what if instead of thinking about everything that you lost, why not think about the fact that a woman of color and a woman in general was able to run for president in the first place? I think that is incredible.
I think that they probably are, just maybe like.
But like, no, think about like if
days later they're just like in mourning or something.
I don't really think anyone's really thinking or looking at it from that point of view. Like, yeah. What if immediately Kamala came out and was just like, hey guys, I lost.
She kind of did. The next day she addressed the nation. It was pretty much like, hey, we fought a good fight.
But I mean, if it were me, I feel like it would have just been so much more powerful, especially if she would have come out and just been like, hey guys, I lost, and am I sad about it? It is unfortunate. I obviously would have liked to win, but I think this was an incredible opportunity. I'm a woman of color and a woman in general, and I was able to run for president. Like, if we look back 10 years ago, how many women were there just in that realm of politics in the first place? Just 10 years ago. Probably not very many at all, if any. And it's just, like, when you're always looking at the gap and what you lost, you forget about how far we've come in the first place and everything that we've gained to get to this point, to where we're at, to where she can even try to run for president.
Seems like you should have voted for her.
That's not that. It's not so much that, but it's just like, what if we all of us approach these politics situations with that kind of mindset and thinking behind it? Like, it would bring so much of us closer together, I think, and unite us more as a country if we took that approach rather than pitting each other against one another and saying, I lost, you're the worst because we lost, and our side is better than your side. And it's just like, at one point we weren't even a nation. Like, there's just so many amazing things that are happening in this world. Like, why do we choose to focus on those types of stuff? And it is because so sad.
It is important, and people you need to get involved. Like,
I'm not saying it doesn't have its place. It has its place, but there is a flaw in all of this.
Yeah.
And I think it's a pretty big flaw that could potentially make things worse if it keeps going like
I think
that.
It is also sad when your candidate loses, that you're bawling your eyes out. Like,
even if you're like,
I would not have cried if Kamala
even
won
if your candidate wins,
all. Like, what?
even if your candidate wins and you're like the happiest thing ever and you're just like so excited, and it's just like, in my head I'm just like, hey, like, relax. It really doesn't matter that much.
It does though. Like,
but like
you're like
your
it
life,
does, but
your life is really
yeah,
not
your
going to
life
change
will
that
go.
much.
Your life will go on. Yeah, you'll still go to work every day. You'll still get your coin.
You're still going to have these negative thoughts that you have every single day. You're still going to have the same problems. Of your kids.
Yeah, like it's this. Yeah,
like your life is not going to change.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Like 2 years from now, we might look back and be like, wow, look, milk is $1 less now. Wow. Whoa.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I would like to add.
I'm sorry. Like this whole topic, like it just.
Yeah.
It just like, as I think as I build my own personal brand and stuff, I think this will definitely be a message that I try to put out there more and just.
Okay.
Try to just not be scared about sharing my thoughts and opinions about politics.
I don't know if anybody right now would resonate just because people are so passionate one way or the other and you're kind of just like meh.
It's not so much that I'm like meh, it's just like I care too much about each individual person. No, it doesn't matter what side they're on.
Yeah.
I want you to win on Kamala's side. I want you to win on Trump's. Like I want us all to win, but that happens when we take our own responsibility for our own lives and stop putting the blame on other people for the way that our lives have been turning out. So I'll stop going in circles, but I'm sorry. That's just how I feel.
Yeah.
And
with peace and love to everybody.
Wow.
All right. So anyway, that also happened on our cruise, which was fun. But yeah, I don't think anything else we have to say about our actual cruise. Traveling home is our last thing that we'll talk about. And oh my gosh, was that the worst day ever?
Well, the cruise part, like it was cute to see, like everybody loved her on the cruise.
Oh, that is so true.
Everybody. Every time we went into the elevator, and I was like, "Hi, little baby.
I know.
Cruising. You're so cute."
Oh yeah, she was by far the cutest baby on the cruise in the world. But.
Even like all the employees were like, "Hi, baby."
What accent was that?
I don't know.
But yeah, everyone was like, how old is she? And her lashes, like that. Honestly, having a baby, well, it's fun because you get like attention of like, oh my gosh, she's so cute. But also, I noticed that like while when we were just eating, that people just stare. And I'm just like, it feels like they're staring at me, and I'm kind of like, oh my gosh, but no, they're just staring at her. So that's also something that I had to use too.
She also loved the food on the ship. Like she was.
She did. She's a food girl.
She is such a foodie. Like
yeah.
you take away food from her during that trip, she would be like, "Girl, give me that food." And that's what she would be like in her head.
Yeah, she'd give you the side eye and get mad.
Yeah. Especially taking away her bread at dinner.
I know. She loves her bread.
Don't take away that girl's bread. She loved soup. That was the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
Like she loved the soup.
Mm-hmm. What was the first soup she had? It was like a broccoli-based soup. She loved it.
I don't remember what it was called, but it was really cool to experience that side of, because like we haven't really done a great job at feeding her things here at the house, and so after that experience we're going shopping and gonna buy her more foods and have more fun breakfasts and lunch and dinners for her, and it's gonna be fun. It was a good experience for that.
Yeah. So as we're coming to a close on the whole like cruise part of it, of course we did have fun, but if you are trying to think of, okay, where can I take my babies on vacation, I wouldn't recommend a cruise, because things are timed. You have to get off the boat at a certain time. You have to be back on the boat at a certain time. Your dinner is this time. It's just not a lot of, I mean, it can be flexible. It can be flexible if you want.
You can just stay on the ship the whole time if you wanted to. Right.
But how kind of we like to do things, it's very like timed out. And it just wasn't the best. Like it would have been it would have been better if we were just like at a resort or something.
And
Like
maybe that's the difference with all these travel couples you see. Maybe they're not.
That's true.
Maybe they're just going places. There's no schedule. There's no this. There's no that.
well, you still have to go on a plane. The
Yeah,
airport.
but like, but still, like, I feel like what really made it hectic, like even like getting on the boat, I remember thinking, man, this is just like craziness. And
Yeah.
if we were not getting on a boat, we were just going to a hotel, it would be a lot more relaxed, more like, hey, let's go up to the like. I was telling Lindsay's mom, I was like, I mean, if I think going on vacation with the kids is great. As far as like the cruise though, just because of the fact that it's more hectic and there's a lot going on and you're getting on the boat, off the boat,
people everywhere,
partying, like it's crowded. I feel like it would just be a lot of a better experience if you just go to like an all-inclusive resort with like a beach. Like that sounds more like a fun family vacation in my head.
I wouldn't take a child on a cruise. Maybe if they're like 6.
Yeah, if they're old enough to kind of like
not
hang
need a
out.
nap, potty trained, like if they can hang.
Because then it'll be fun because you can sit on the, like when they play movies on the deck, you can watch movies with your kid and you can do some of the fun things.
Like
that
it
the
is
boat
family
has.
friendly, but for
sure
kids, yeah.
I mean, when you're like, the last stage of elementary school. How old are you?
5th grade?
Yeah, maybe that's not too old.
That's like
Maybe like 3rd graders and up. I don't know.
Yeah, I would say
Doesn't matter.
5th grade is like 11. So I think like younger than that. I think if you're like 7, then you're just like a normal kid. Then I would recommend. So anyway, those are our thoughts on cruising with a baby, 10-month-old. It was fun. If you must go on one, get a balcony. That is my only thing.
And have family with you.
Yes, if it was just us 3, forget about it. That would have been so hard.
We would have done it because we had situations where it was just us 3 a lot of the time, but having your parents, especially for the cruises, and they gave us a break every now, like that was
so nice.
That was the nice part about it.
Yeah. All right. Last day of the trip, the travel day, was so bad. We paid $0 for this trip. My dad paid for all of us. Thank you so much. So grateful. So I think he was just trying to go like the cheapest route because I would do the same thing. Let's save money. So the last travel day was just a weird schedule, like a weird connecting flight. So from Fort Lauderdale, so we got off the boat at 9 a.m. Our flight wasn't until 4:45 p.m., which we didn't realize until we got to the airport. So we literally just had to chill there for the longest time, and they wouldn't let us check our bags through security until 4 hours before. So we just had to sit right when you walk in the airport for 2 hours until we were able to check in 4 hours before our flight. So that was already like, oh boy. So what I assumed, because we were going on 2 planes and it was about 4 hours to get there. So I was like, oh, okay, we'll get on a plane that's 2 hours, and then the next plane will probably be around 2 hours. So I'll be like, oh, okay, that's not too bad. But I think, I don't know geography or anything like that, but we flew from Fort Lauderdale to Atlanta, which must have been like north or something. It was not anywhere closer to our destination. So we literally just took a 2-hour flight for no reason, because our second flight was 4 hours and 30 minutes long. So it felt like we just took a 2-hour flight did not get us closer to our destination at all. And it was so late. Scarlett was so tired, but she wouldn't stay asleep, because as soon as the captain would get on the intercom of, we are about to descend in 40 minutes, she would wake up. And yeah, it was hard, especially because it was nighttime. It was very hard. Anything to add with that before I get into the next thing?
I mean, I would just say it was probably a good thing that she didn't sleep that flight because it prepared her and got her extra tired for the long one.
Yeah, the long one, thank goodness she slept pretty much the whole way. Thank goodness.
Yeah, she slept like at least 4 hours. Like the first 30 minutes was like, oh man, like she will not fall asleep.
Yeah. Maybe an hour.
Maybe. But she slept the majority of it.
She slept the majority of it. So we flew into Vegas. It was 9 p.m. Vegas time, but it was midnight Florida time.
Yeah.
So it was just such a long travel day. And I just, again, if it were just us two, whatever, we would have thugged it out. We would have gone to sleep. When we got home, it would have been fine. But since we had a baby, like I said, if you have any control of your flights, schedule situation, I would just do direct flights and I would do like middle of the day. I know that's not the cheapest route to go, but if you want an enjoyable experience, like that's what I would do.
Or middle of the night so the kid sleeps.
I know, but then they have to get off of the plane and then go to wherever they're going.
Yeah, but then they just fall asleep in the car and then...
It wasn't that easy for us, so I don't know why you're saying that.
I mean, when we got off the plane in Vegas, she woke up and then she just fell asleep again in the car.
I know, but then we like got home and she wasn't asleep. So middle of the day, 100%. Because then you get there around bedtime, like dinner time. So
that's a good point.
We get off the plane at 9 p.m. Vegas time, and we still had an hour and a half drive home, but none of us took a picture of where we parked. So that was also an extra 30 minutes of looking for our car. Thank goodness we found it.
I should have listened to my gut more right off the bat, because I was like, we are over here. Like, I just know it. But then your dad walked over there and he's like, I don't see anything. And I was trying to click the horn. I didn't hear anything.
Yeah.
I just should have walked a little bit further and I would have seen it.
But I was just scared because I was like, this is a five tier parking garage. This could take hours. But thank goodness it still took 30 minutes at least to find our car. But yeah, so that was also just like a thing, and we were all dead. Like it is midnight Florida time. We are just so dead, so done, and we still had an hour and a half drive back home. So we drove back home. It's now 1 a.m. Utah time, because Utah and Nevada also have different time zones. It was just 3 different time zones. Also very hard. And it was, when we got home, we were just so dead. It was like 3 a.m. Florida time, and we just needed to go to bed. And Scarlett was just getting more fussy. She's also having another tooth come in, so she's just extra fussy. It was just really hard. And we've been back for 5 days now, and she has still not recovered, I would say. What do you think?
She's getting closer, but a big part of it too is her tooth. I think that
Maybe.
is a big part of the reason why it's harder for her to get back into that normal schedule.
Yeah. It's just, if you're just adults and it's just 2 of you, we would have gone to sleep, slept in a little bit, and recovered by ourselves, taken naps, but we just haven't. So also me and Orson have not yet recovered, I would say. We try and get her to sleep between 7 and 7:30. Literally, we'll watch one show. We go to bed at 8 and 8:30 because we are still so dead tired, because we still low-key have not recovered from 5 days ago. And I was literally like, Orson, how are we supposed to record this podcast right now? Because it's 10:15. We are usually well asleep by this point because it's just been so hard. But so yeah, that was our vacation. It was fun. It was adventurous. We did lots of cool things like zip lining and going into the ocean, but with the baby, it just makes it so much harder. And I don't know. I don't even know how to end this, like, because my last thing I would say is, if you're traveling with a baby that's under a year old, if you can, choose flights that are during the day, direct flights. Don't do a cruise. And if you are doing a cruise, get a balcony and take family with you. That is my list of things that I would have changed or done differently to make it a more enjoyable experience. What about you?
It's all pretty accurate.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was, all in all, it was a win of a vacation, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, I'm grateful we had that experience, and it was still fun.
And also don't choose an 8-day cruise. Yeah. We were all so over it by day 6, and we still had like 2 sea days left.
There was like, I was telling you this, like, towards the last day, I was like, I feel like there's just been this energy with our relationship, like, this whole time. Like, it just, like, it was not like our normal loving banter energy that we have at home, and it just, sorry, my nose is weirdly runny.
Sorry, babe.
I'll have to cut that part out probably.
Yeah.
But there was this, there was just was weird energy where I just didn't really feel that love from you, and I feel like I wasn't giving you that much love that I would normally. There was just a lack of patience with each other. It was just like an icky feeling that I had kind of throughout not the whole trip, but especially kind of nearing the end.
It's because I think we couldn't relax unless she was asleep and we were on the balcony.
I mean, that could be a big part of it.
Dinners were crazy. Breakfast was crazy.
I mean, breakfast I thought was fine.
But there's still like a lot of people. We had to get the high chair. She made a mess. We had to clean up the mess. Like,
we never cleaned up the mess.
Yeah, we did. We always
cleaned up the mess, like her mess.
Yeah, we still like wiped off. We had to wipe her off. We wiped down the high chair still. We weren't maniacs to just leave it all crazy. They took care of our dishes and stuff, but
yeah, I'm just saying, like,
I think it's because we didn't really take a breath, really.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was a good experience.
Lack of sleep, oh my gosh.
I think that was like a good experience for us to learn how to like still give each other the same love and patience that we both deserve, even if we're both tired or a little bit stressed, or like, just because we are those things doesn't mean we shouldn't give each other the love and patience that we deserve on a regular basis. And that was just a good learning experience is really all that I'm saying. Yeah.
Lack of sleep, I would also say, would probably be like the number 1 or number 2 thing as well, of just like the snappiness maybe, of lack of patience, because she slept in our room. Obviously, they had a crib for her. Thank goodness she didn't have to sleep on our queen bed. But she did not sleep through the night, not in the slightest, and she did not want to be put down a lot of the time, probably because she's just like, where am I? And so she slept in our bed. Honestly, I guess she slept in our bed a good amount of time. Yeah, it was just hard. It was just hard, and we're still tired.
I mean, I think I'm almost better, if not better.
I wouldn't say I'm
you
better.
You look a little bit rough.
Thanks.
No, we should end this. It's freaking hot in here.
Why is it so hot in here?
It's these lights, dude.
Yeah, I'm about to pass out, low-key. All right,
let's go watch the fight.
Yes, the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching, listening to our travel trips, our election thoughts. Me and Orson have pretty different thoughts there. Please don't send any hate to us or anybody if anybody comments what their thoughts are, especially on the election, because I know everybody has their own very strong opinions, but because we just want peace and love, and to not judge people on how or why they choose to vote for that person, because it is all individualized and what your needs and your priorities are, and I'll leave it at that. So I just thought I should say that. Thank you so much.
Thanks for making this long. This is a longer one.
I know. Thank you.
We're like an hour and a half now.
Yeah.
Which I thought it was going to be longer, so I think that's pretty good.
Well, because the actual crew, I could have gone every single day on the cruise and said a whole thing of like what happened that day, but I chose to kind of chunk it all in together.
Which is a good idea.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys so much yet again, and we will see you guys in the next one. 1, 2, 3. Bye.